The big part 7, the broken world, other parts down below. Well, I just got my phone back. 5 minutes into the ride down here, my friends took my phone away and said I had 90 minutes to talk it out, then after that I was forbidden to discuss it until I started home. So, we did. All of them knew we were in home separated, but not everyone knew why, so some were shocked and all were supportive. Afterwards we just had a good time. Nothing crazy but enjoyable. Rain is pretty much moving and so most of us are going home today. The 2 couples that came are staying through the weekend. I read more text and emails. I guess what she has done has begun to sink in. That her mother has finally gotten through to her. She's apologizing again and begging to move back home. I have not acknowledged her yet, but moving back in is not going to happen. That experiment is done. I hate to do it, but I'm to the point of 100% no contact. I hate the thought of not being involved with the pregnancy, but I can't do this crap anymore. The emotional toll is really getting to me. I'll check with my lawyer on how it might affect my future custody, but I just can't stand being around her anymore. That past couple of days I realize how much I miss normal contact with people that care about me. No walking on eggshells. No fear of just getting a comforting hug from someone and not freaking out. I've gotten closer to this core group of friends the past 2 days. We all went to school together and get together at least twice a year like this. With the pandemic it's been a long time and I forgot how much I love the guys and gals. MIL emailed and stated that Friday, after getting in touch with WW therapist and getting her in to see her, they decided to get another therapist. I'm guessing she went in with her or had some type of consult. Anyway, according to MIL, the therapist did tell her stand up for herself and make sure I was being accountable for my part in reconciliation. Mother-in-law allegedly flipped out and told the therapist that she was insane and that WW was there to fix herself, not the marriage. I assume this happened this way. Mother-in-law is not prone to lying. Losing her temper, yes, but I've never known her to flat out lie. But still, I don't have a lot of trust right now. So, take it for what it's worth. My take on it is that somewhere inside her she agreed with the therapist. And that tells me no remorse, and no real accountability for her actions. That's about it. As an update, she has gone silent since yesterday around noon and I have not responded to anything she sent. Nothing from her family either. Divorce is happening. I find it hard to see how this is denial. I will never see her or anyone else for that matter as evil. To me that would be the same as giving up on humanity as a whole. I always believe there is good in everyone. Does not mean I have to be buddies with them though. As far as her just beginning to mess with me, I'm sure I'm only in the early stages of this and I harbor no illusions on how ugly this can get. It does not mean that I need to escalate things first or higher. I'm entering a potential custody battle with 2 strikes against me already. Her rules and my rules are completely different, though we are in the same game, so to speak. I don't have the luxury of going on the attack. It only works against me. I will fight, but I have to be more strategic about it than she does. I have not had slept with her since the weekend before I found out about the affair. In fact, there has been very little actual physical touch at all. Honestly, I am to the point I don't care how or why any of this has happened. I'm tired. I'm tired of the drama. I'm tired of the pain. I'm tired of the lawyer. I'm tired of family. I'm tired of talking about this and I want it over. But I can't. I have a child on the way. STBX that has a split personality. My business is suffering. My parents are destroyed by all of this. I'm just tired. Chances are she will get the overwhelming amount of time with child as a newborn, which means she is more likely to get greater than 50-50 custody because of the child being a newborn, which can carry forward into toddler years so as not to disrupt the child's life. I'm not interested in keeping the child from her, but I would definitely like at least 50-50, and that is in no way a guarantee. Where I live it's going to depend on the judge and their age. Most older judges tend to default to the mother more in custody cases unless there is strong evidence of abuse or neglect. I was just sitting here at the kitchen table and realized how peaceful and relaxed I am after a run and shower this morning. I feel as though I should feel something other than peaceful right now, but I don't. I'm feeling good about my decisions right now. I do feel like I in some way failed, but I think that is normal. I apologize for the lack of interaction, folks, but I just decided to step away this week from everything STBX related. I have received no phone calls and no texts, no emails, but I did receive a letter that I have not opened and have no inclination to at this point. I will, but not right now. I went out last night alone and actually met a young lady and we talked for about 3 hours. She gave me her number. While I have no plans to contact her, it was nice to do the whole meet and get her number thing. Big confidence booster. OBS contacted me, I think it was Tuesday, and we talked a while. At the end I asked to not contact me anymore. Nothing personal, but I feel like I am being pulled backwards when speak to her. I told her once this is over, I'd reach out and if she still wanted to be friends we could. Plans going forward are to think of a way I can get updates on her health and the baby's progress over the coming months. I really have no idea how to go about it. And, to focus on my business more, get my head back in the game so to speak, and finally, maybe stick my toe carefully and very quietly back into the dating scene. That one may not happen, but I think I need to at least socialize outside of my friend group a little bit. We share some friends and I'm not interested in them accidentally or purposefully providing info to her. And yes, we are done. I can't stay with her. Any small chance of our went out with the threat of keeping me from the baby. And if she could cheat on me during what she called a great marriage and fantastic husband, then I hate to know what she would do during a truly bad time in our lives. No, I am moving on. I hate the idea of us not being able to deal with things like normal people, but I need to be prepared if she continues to be difficult. Texted the young lady last night. No response until close to midnight. I had fallen asleep by then. Her response: hey you, sorry just got home. If you're up, call. If not, shoot me a text when you wake up. Then, I'm a morning person so I'll be awake early. I sent a text right before. All she knows is I'm currently in the process of divorcing. I am not comfortable enough with her, or any other stranger, right now to blurt out the whole story. So, I don't think she had enough information at the time for any of us to assume any lack of integrity on her part or her sanity. She did most of the talking, which was fine by me, and I'm not interested in using anyone. We did speak this morning. Just a few minutes. We both have plans today so we could not speak long. Just small talk. She's wanting to meet up for lunch today before she goes to her commitment, but I can't. We decided on Tuesday lunch tentatively. I say tentatively because I told her I wanted to explain more of my situation before we do the lunch thing. She was okay with that and we decided to talk either tonight or tomorrow sometime. I want to repeat, I'm not looking for a relationship. But if this becomes a new friendship, I'm good with that. It would be nice to make a new friend outside my current life. Someone not expecting an update on my imploding marriage but maybe just interested in talking about our day or current events. Anything else would be, I guess, okay, but it's not what I really want right now. I am not interested in entering into a relationship with this lady, not a physical one at least. Right now, I am surrounded by people who are all concerned about me, my marriage, my STBX and my future child, friends and family alike. I think it would be nice to have someone to talk to that is not vested in my current situation, that is on the outside. Besides, after she hears the whole story she might run off and never talk to me again. I'll be disappointed but I'll survive. Just maybe. We'll be friends. I have never been upset with different opinions, though I do get aggravated sometimes with side arguments, but even those that have some good information occasionally. Ultimately, everyone that comes here is going to do what they want no matter the advice, and I am sure choices I make will be questioned and people will disagree. We spoke last night and I was upfront about my current situation and that I was not looking for anything but friendship right now. She was very attentive and asked questions. In the end, we decided we wanted two different things and that my situation was more than she was wanting to handle right now. So, no lunch tomorrow. And that's okay. I heard from my attorney who sent me an email along with a scanned copy of the letter. She stated the letter was personal in nature but contained items of interest that could possibly benefit me down the road. I read the letter and it's basically a mashup of apologies, threats, and begging. It's not really very coherent at times and very uncharacteristic of her and her writing style. She's obviously not doing well. At this point I'm at a loss at what to do. I absolutely am concerned about her and the baby, and I'm also not in a great place myself. I have some hard decisions to make. I truly wish it was just something I could walk away from at this point, but that's just not possible. I spent last night at my mom and dad's so we could sit and discuss this at length. Their concern is obviously me, but like myself, they are very concerned with her due to the baby. We ran through some options. None of them are good for me, but I don't know. 1. Bring her back home, try to playhouse until baby is born and then ease into divorce. 2. Begin interacting with her and try to navigate the divorce as peaceably as possible, which will likely result in things getting uglier when I continue to progress to divorce. 3. Continue with the no contact and more than likely be shut out completely of information on the baby's health and have a guaranteed ugly divorce. The thought of number 1 makes me feel like a manipulative piece of crap. Number 3 is practically untenable. And number 2 has the least chance of working out for me at this point. I don't know. This is all going way too fast at this point. It continues to speed up every day. I have had 1 hour-long phone call with WW. It went okay. I'm choosing to hold on to details for a few days just in case I was wrong about the poster that got banned. I don't believe it was someone I knew in real life, but who knows. Anyway, I'm just letting you know that there is some movement. Where it's going, I don't know yet. There were some questions about the threats in the letter. They were simply stuff like, if you don't talk to me, I'll never let you near my baby, and things like that. Stuff I believe that was designed to get a response out of me. When I didn't respond, it was a barrage of texts apologizing. Nothing I'm taking too seriously right now, but I am making copies of and saving screenshots. My overall goal has not changed. That's to get to a place of civility with her. Period. I'm not promising anything and I'm not threatening anything. I called her again later in the week and suggested to during the conversation that maybe we could talk on the phone a couple of times a week and keep things cordial. Maybe the day after her therapist visit and see how she's doing. And the second call about us and the baby, we started that this week. I will speak to her tomorrow night and we'll keep it more about her and the issues in the marriage, and how I'm doing. Then later in the week we discuss the baby and other things. The goal there is to separate the two as much as possible right now. Eventually we may even turn the second phone call into an actual physical meeting on the weekend to eat or shop, but no marriage, affair talk. That is the Tuesday evening call. Exactly what headway have we made? She understands that there mostly like will be a divorce. She seems to have come to terms with that. What we look like on the other side of divorce I don't know. But right now, I'm just needing her to get better to deal with her issues so she can be a better parent. Now I'm not ignoring myself or rug sweeping the affair, though it looks like that. The Tuesday evening calls are designed for us both to learn how her actions have affected me and the marriage as well as herself. She is saying the right things now, but of course her actions are what are important. I have been better at explaining how this has caused me to change in a way that is foreign to me. I can't see her right now as a person I want to live my life with. I still love her, but I can't be around her. And that has affected her ability to try to help and work toward a feeling of trust. She is panicked because she so desperately wants to help me, but I have not given any indication that what she is doing is helping or hurting. And though she recognizes why and knows it's her fault, she feels as though that she has lost already. And that leads to a loss of control of her emotion and lashing out and starts the cycle over. Now that's a very brief synopsis of her side of things and where she is mentally. I know there is a lot of things about her, but I just wanted to give you a breakdown of where she is currently emotionally and mentally. Believe me, it has not been all about her. I just want to inform you folks, I am busy, very busy. We have had some notice from another company and that may entail some good news, but I'll go further than that right now. I made the decision to see a local therapist based on a recommendation by my remote therapist that helped me last year and has been kind of on call for me through this. He believes that I need to see someone in person to evaluate my PTSD, not only from the attack last year but the stress from the affair. He's of the opinion I'm internalizing too much and that I'm trying to carry too much of this on my own. Between work, the baby, and the affair, I'm just not seeing any relief. I'm the type of person that just lowers my head and shoulders and just continues to move forward and never mind my well-being. If others are adversely affected, I just take their burden on myself. So now you know more than I ever wanted anyone to know about me. Lol. Wrapping this update up. She did have a baby appointment without me. She apologized over and over for that. She tried calling me from the doctor's office to get me to come after she got there, but I was no contact at that point. The baby is well. She updated me on everything. She has promised in the future to never limit my access again in that way. We'll see. Actions over words. That's about it. We will see. P.S. Just to clarify, she will not move back into the house. I need the physical separation. D is still the go-to at this point. Has not changed. See no reason to change it. Her work on herself is priority over the marriage. Same for me. Lawyer has been updated every step of the way through this. And I'm keeping recordings as a safety net. I really feel more and more comfortable with the D decision. I always knew that was probably the only way for me, but I'm beginning to realize that it's probably best for her. I believe it will make her face some personal issues that caused her to be so self-destructive. Even though I don't know what those issues are, I would have preferred to be there to help her through this, but for obvious reasons I can't be her support system right now. At least not her main support. I want to stress I'm not trying to figure her out at this point for my peace of mind. I am moving away from that every day, but I still have to deal with the fact she will be in my life in some way forever. I can either keep it cordial, even friendly, or become adversarial and pay the consequences down the road for that. Her well-being is important for the child. If at all possible, I would rather keep playing nice. The 2-day-a-week discussions are going fine and basically break down like this. Tuesday is more about her, the marriage, and me. The percentage is about 60% her, 30% marriage, and 10% me. And I like it that way. I want her to work on her, not us, and I do not trust her. The second day fluctuates, but it's about baby, work, family, friends, etc. The physical separation is helping by giving me a better overall view of this whole thing. She's not there to cloud my thought with hurt, anger, and resentment. It's just me. So where is this leading me? I'm worrying less about why and more about her just getting into a good place emotionally. I just want some stability there. These outbursts are something I have never experienced with her. I need them under control. I'm realizing how much this has triggered more of my past PTSD from the attack. So, I'm now seeing a therapist locally as suggested by my old one. I'm handling things more efficiently at the company, which is huge right now. Potentially awesome things going on there. So yeah, I get what you're saying. She is not safe. Honestly, I'm probably not a good partner right now either. But the balance between having contact and not being angry or a crutch for her is better managed this way right now. And I get continued updates on the pregnancy. Had an interesting breakthrough during our Tuesday evening phone call. In WW's case, she admitted to ongoing self-esteem, body image issues as a teen and later on in college. For whatever reason, she felt that she had overcome those issues later in college, but obviously not. She was careful not to use them as the reason for her affair, but it shows that there are things there beneath the surface I never knew or realized. Also, it appears her mother and father entered into an open relationship that lasted the final few years of their marriage, mutually agreeing to seeing others outside the home and not bringing them around the family. They had decided to divorce when their youngest child entered college. Actually, they even tried to stay together for a year afterwards but just could not get along. I had known about their plan to divorce. It was known openly after they divorced, but the open relationship was new. WW apparently was aware of it almost immediately after it started, even though her parents never told her. The woman her father was seeing called the house one day and asked to speak to him, and when she asked who was calling, she replies his girlfriend. It didn't take long for her to realize her mom had a boyfriend. She was upset, of course, and never told her parents until this past weekend that she knew they were going outside their marriage for bonding. Just an update. I'm extremely busy with work, so to be honest, I'm probably not putting in the work on this I need to be doing. But other than a sympathetic ear, I'm not sure what, if anything, I need to do, or for that matter, if I want to do anything. I'm feeling less and less involved in this whole process. I just want it over with and my child here. I don't think deep down I ever really considered, or I did feel like at one point I was not giving her the opportunity to at least try to give me some indication of remorse that might have led to our, but I've said it before. She was, and, on some cases, still in survival mode. She is reacting emotionally to the point it's still about her. And until any cheater gets past that point, I don't believe R is possible. At this point I am exhausted with it all. It's getting to the point that she's not worth it. The marriage is not worth it. Only my child is worth tolerating this at this point. And she really has no idea the damage she has done, and she really does not understand the future I am staring at right now. A future that could possibly be the dream we shared. The possibility of traveling when and where we wanted. It's all on the verge of becoming a reality, but she's not going to be part of it. If it happens, I should be sad about that, but I'm not. I'm just ready to move on. Unless something happens so monumental that my entire outlook on her changes, I just want to move on. I'm tired. I hurt. I'm lonely. I'm angry. I'm like an exposed nerve. I've had a little sleep and feeling better. I just sent her a no-contact text and told her that at this point I'm suspending these discussions. I explained to her that they are too painful for me right now. I did not give her any reason other than that. I also didn't say anything about a time frame on when, if they will start back. I did tell her I would meet at doctor's office next week for her checkup. She's texted back a couple of times, but I have not responded to them nor read them. We are communicating through text only and only about the baby. She has an appointment tomorrow and I'll be meeting her at the doctor's office. We expect to find out the baby's gender tomorrow. Hopefully all will go well. I intend to go back to no contact following the appointment. Based on her staying within the boundaries I've set, she's doing better. No apologies, no pleading, just the information I've asked for and nothing else. Let's see how long it lasts. Well, it's a boy and he is due December 7th. He's a little undersized at around 9.5 inches, but you can make out his face, and there are absolutely no words to describe it. It went well. She was very good. No pouting or apologizing. It was all about the baby. Not going to lie, we got emotional, and yes, there was a lot of hand-holding, and for a split a while, everything bad went away. There was absolutely nothing going on in my life but that baby. Afterwards we spoke and I asked if there was anything she needed. She responded, "I just need to fix whatever is wrong with me," which is the only reference she made to our issues. She did well. I did well. We did hug as we left and went our separate ways afterwards. There was a lot of sadness when I got home, but a lot of joy also. I did thank her for waiting until we both were together to find out the gender. It's my understanding she could have done that last month without me. That's the only time she teared up. Well, we both cried a little when we saw the ultrasound, but I'm not counting that. Back to no contact other than health-related things. And one final update. I met with our attorney Tuesday. Not my divorce attorney, but our business attorney. My brother and I have an offer on our company and we have decided to sell. He's ready because it's no longer a challenge to him. That's his personality. A genius, but only when it's challenging. And I'm just ready to distress my life a little. It'll be good money and I'm already being asked to stay on for a period of time. We'll look it over and make a final decision, but really, we are ready to let it go. It's not retirement forever money, but it's pretty substantial. I still need to get feedback from my divorce attorney on any financial implications regarding our separation agreement. That's it, about the financials. Right now, the business stuff is still in the negotiation phase and the business attorney is aware of my current marriage issues. The whole thing was going pretty fast until they asked us to sign a 5-year deal to work for them. I'm willing to stay for a year, but no way in hell I'm trying myself up for 5 years working for someone else. And my brother is gone immediately after the sell. Well, he may spend a month going over things with someone, but no way in hell is he staying longer than that. Good luck with trying to tie him down. We are legally separated. There is in place a financial arrangement, which is basically she is providing me with healthcare coverage and I reimburse her, plus a few other things that will be sorted by the court anyway. She has no legal right to the house. I inherited it. I have not filed for divorce. I can, but due to the pregnancy it would be delayed until after my son is born. This is so custody can be determined. It makes more sense to wait and not stir the pot. even though she has stated she accepts the fact that I will be divorcing her. Why chance it? As for proceeds from the sale of our company, she will probably be granted something from the sale by the judge. She can make the argument that she provided financial support during the startup, which is true. I have no problem with her receiving a fair payout. What fair looks like, though, will probably be the problem. And just as an update, she is keeping to the boundaries I set. I only hear from her if it's about the baby. I have spoken to her twice since the last doctor's visit, and that was through text. Couple of things. First, my wife is financially able to afford a place to live on her own. She's living with her mom right now only because of the pregnancy, and I believe that's a good decision right now. Second, I'm not interested in dodging any reasonable amount of financial support if it's proven to be needed. Again, the sticking point would be determining what's reasonable. I have an attorney for this, and she will be the one I rely on for this. Third, our joint assets, which consists mostly of savings and retirement, can be easily divided. Actually, the savings has already been divided and separated. My attorney has those financials, and she's got a good idea on what will probably happen. Hard assets really only include vehicles and a few pieces of furniture. I'm not sweating that stuff. The biggest determining factor on how this turns out financially for me will be our child. If the current offer on the table from the sale of our company holds, I'll be locked in for 30 months at a substantially higher income than her. The fact this opportunity came along after the legal separation works in my favor, but still it could potentially be a point of contention in the divorce. As a quick aside, I just left from lunch with OBS. She called last night and asked if I had the time, so I met her for an early lunch. She's doing well. Currently has a new fellow in her life. Good for her. Asked about the wife, and we talked very briefly about our situation. But 99% of the conversation was just that. Conversation. Nothing earth-shattering. She said nothing about her ex, and I sure as hell don't care. She looks as good as ever and as always leaves you feeling like you're the only person in the world. She's a natural salesperson. I really am getting better every day. The advice to take care of myself first has begun to pay off in a huge way. While I still have moments of sadness and anger, I have noticed they are more fleeting. I don't take an hour or two to get over it. They usually hit and pass in a quick wave of emotion. And then I go back to what I'm doing. I have also begun to visit more with my next-door neighbor, the nice cake lady. Her and her husband have had some health problems, and I've made sure their grass is cut and even sat with him a couple of times while she went to the doctor. Stuff like this has really brought things into focus. They have been married for 56 years. It's really inspiring to watch them interact with each other. I am also going out with friends at times. Nothing crazy, just socializing. They have been good about not pressuring me about dating someone or just hooking up. Mainly, I'm exercising, watching what I eat, reading, a lot of reading. Fiction, not self-help stuff. I've had enough of that. And work. When it's all said and done, she should not get any alimony. She makes good money on her own. I do make more, but not a significant amount more. The kicker is after the sale my income will double. Plus, I'll have the lump sum from the sale. How that will play in the custody, divorce hearings after the baby is born, I don't know. That's a question I'll need to check with my lawyer on. A lot of this will be determined by her and how much she wants to fight me. Right now, she is holding on to a possible reconciliation after the baby is born. I do not see that happening. I have told her I am definitely divorcing, but she seems to think there's a chance. As long as she is in that mindset, I think we can come to an amicable agreement. But I'm not naive enough to think it will happen that way. In other words, who knows what will happen financially at this point. No matter what, I will be better off and have more disposable income and a nice nest egg even if she gets half of my part of the sale. And my little boy will have a father that can afford to make the most of what time I have with him, even if it's just staying off from work when he's with me. I've been getting a lot of assistance from my dad, and his greatest advice for me has been the most simple and direct. Live. Don't try to fix something you didn't break. Don't try to take responsibility for something you're not responsible for. Just live your life and ultimately forgive. I'm doing the first part, but I'm nowhere near the second. I want to forgive, but I think it's just too soon. My day consists of work and self-improvement through running and exercise. I have a good friend that has become what my father calls a battle buddy. My dad was in the military. I was not. Anyway, he and I work out and talk. His wife died of leukemia a little over a year ago, so he has had to do the whole starting over again. So, he has taken the opportunity to redirect his life after only recently coming out of mourning. He has been through a lot this past year and battled with depression, and we have kind of bonded over life slapping us around. He only recently heard of our issues and reached out a few weeks ago, and gradually we have developed a routine. I'm ashamed to say I had no idea how bad things had gotten for him since his wife passed. I'm really thankful for his help and the opportunity to make up for not being there in the past few months. It's helping a lot. Plus, he is taking the pressure off my brother, who's been a stone-cold killer through this. He has kept me focused and tolerated late-night calls and never once complained. When his girlfriend got irritated at my phone calls, he packed her stuff and sent her home, telling her that until she understood how hurt I was, he didn't want to see her again. Thankfully, they worked it out, but it's an example of how much he's helped me and put me at the forefront of his life right now. Hopefully this will give him time in his own relationship. I don't want to hurt him in his relationship while he's helping me. I am lucky. I have a great support system. My WW does too if she will take advantage of it. I know some of the women in our friend group has reached out to her to check on her, but they did so only after asking if it was okay, which I saw as a good sign that they did not want to validate what she did, but they do care about her, and none have come back to me and repeated anything she said or volunteered any information. There is just not a lot going on. So, my posts on here are more in response to others. I'm in that legal limbo as well, waiting for the birth of my son. Just as an aside to others, OBS paid for attorney. I think I have mentioned it. It was a lump sum up to so many hours, and nowhere near that number of billable hours. I'll obviously pick up the cost if it goes over. As for my WW, I know nothing about her attorney other than his name. I do not even know if he is still her attorney. I'm sure that this will cost more than it should, and I hope to keep the attorney fees as low as possible, but in the end it all depends on the two of us. If either of us decides to be vindictive, then it all becomes a mess. For my part, I plan on controlling myself. I can't speak for her, but I hope she realizes the futility in becoming an issue. It will only make a bad situation worse. At this point, after some time and a whole lot of talking, I have no respect for her as a wife and a companion any longer. The betrayal of trust has put me in that frame of mind. I still love her. I believe she will be a good mother, but not my wife. Could that change? I don't believe so. I no longer speak to her about anything that is not related to the pregnancy. She's been very good to adhere to my request on that. I am sure it's due to hope of a reconciliation, but I have been very direct that we will be divorcing. I think at this point she believes we might divorce and eventually reconcile. And it might happen, but I don't see it. My son is coming on December 7th and he's getting big. We have finalized the sale of our business and I have been interviewing some financial planners, advisors. It's not independently wealthy money, but it's enough to make my life interesting. WW doesn't know, and my lawyer has advised to just not say anything right now. I settled on working a year with the new owners. My brother, as expected, will no longer be affiliated with it at all. He's already planning his next project. WW wrote a letter and asked if she could give it to me. She said whether I read or not is up to me, but she needed to write it. I believe it has something to do with her therapy. I have not read it, but might at some point. I have no issue with helping her with her therapy. That's about it. Maybe it wasn't as busy as I thought. My comment: it seems that certain individuals may not possess the resilience needed for enduring long-term relationships. In the case of your wife, I believe she might be one of these individuals. Perhaps the term equipped would be more suitable than strong enough to describe this trait. However, it's possible that with personal growth, she could develop the capacity for lasting commitment. Considering her personality during the time of her affair, it's likely that she would have encountered difficulties in her marriage, regardless of the circumstances. Final ending coming in the afternoon. I need some time after lunch to finish it. Let me know what you learned so far in this relationship, and we will head towards the ending.